wow, just wow. It is hard to put into words the 90 minutes that I've just watched at Richmond Park. An incredible game of football. Shelbourne have won against St Patrick's Day for the third time this season, courtesy of a 96th minute winner from Evan Caffrey. It was Stephen Kenny against Damien Duff, two of the biggest names in terms of managers that you're likely to ever get in the League of Ireland, and oh my god, it did not disappoint whatsoever. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Alive Fan TV. I hope you're all keeping very, very well indeed. I sure am. Shelbourne have pulled off a last gasp winner at Richmond Park to extend their lead at the top of the table. They currently, I think Shamrock Rovers game is just still running as we speak. I think it's about to finish up, one of the Shamrock Rovers. So as a result of that, Shelbourne will extend their league at the top of the Premier Division of the League of Ireland, and it did not look like they were going to do so. We will jump into that. We'll actually run through the whole game because this is an incredible game. Arguably the game of the season so far. A brilliant watch for a neutral. Great that it was on Virgin Media as well, but what a game of football. Some top quality goals from both sides, and this was just an incredible watch. Shell started off really brightly, in fairness to them, and as they have done at times this season, they kind of got on top very early. Got out of the traps, and it did open the scoring through Sean Boyd, Will Jarvis and Cameron Ledwidge linking up on the left hand side. Ledwidge kind of got under the radar how good he's been lately, coming in from left full, a powerful run, great ball into Jarvis, and Jarvis never disappoints. So his final ball was outstanding, and Sean Boyd did really well. Made it look easy, but not find that bit of space in the box between kind of Redmond and Breslin and Turner. It's never easy against kind of high quality defenders in the League of Ireland. They did really well, rose highest and headed home to put Shelbourne into a well-deserved 1-0 lead. And then second half kind of started off even game. This was a tantalising watch, end-to-end stuff. It was a fantastic game of football. St Pat's did make some changes in the second half, and they brought on Mason Melia, and they brought on Alex Nolan, who definitely made a big difference for them. A lot more attacking threat about the. Mason Mealy in particular did really well for the goal. He gets the ball kind of on the half turn, drives at Shells, wins a free kick, and the free kick was incredible. It was unbelievable. Jake Mulroney stepped up and buried a top corner, and it looked like Pats were going to be in the tendency to go on and win the game after that. It looked like the fans are behind them, but what I loved from a Shells point of view was as soon as Pats scored that goal, we saw, I'd say it could have been 2+ minutes of Shelbourne just faffing about. I think they were trying to make 3 subs, they were changing things up, and it was just prime Mourinho-esque stuff from Damien Duff. It was just straight out of the textbook for me. I think Sean Boyd left his shin guard on the pitch, went off to the sideline, the ref had to go get the shin pad, bring it over. It kind of just killed 2 minutes where Pats were really getting behind. The momentum was completely shifted in Pats' favour, and that just kind of leveled the playing field a little bit, and that's the kind of thing that can win you titles. And that bit of game management, it's just so important when it comes to the fine margins for winning games of football, and it was incredible from Damien Duff. If that, I'm 99% sure it was meant for that to happen. I know he was planning to make a change anyway, but it just the way it all manoeuvred, it looked like Boyd was coming off, and then it was a change up around, and who was coming off, who was coming on, and it just killed 2 minutes of the game. It was fantastic from Duff, I have to say. Kind of Pats, in fairness, still off the back of that, Pats did look the more threatening side. Obviously the fans were right behind them, and they did look like they were threatening for without creating a great opportunity. They were definitely kind of putting the pressure on, but then on the other hand, were counter-attacking and looking really dangerous on that counter-attack, and then it looked like the game was kind of petering out to a 1-1 draw, and I think both sides probably at that stage would have been happy enough. I think Pats probably needed the points desperately more to try and climb the table, whereas Shell's kind of going away to Richmond Park, a draw, they looked happy enough to take the point. It's never too bad of a result, especially with a new manager bouncing. Stephen Kenny, one of the best to ever do it, coming in at Pats as well. It's never too bad of a result, especially for your last trip to Pats this season. But there was a twist in the tale. A lovely bit of link-up play between Dean Williams on the left-hand side with Tyreek Wilson, who was fantastic when he came on, who has a really good season so far. And it was actually the 3 substitutes linking up for this, and that was a question marks raised by Vinnie Perth, I think it was, on commentary, that Shales' issue is going to be strength and depth this season, not having players off the bench that come on and make a difference. And it was kind of the commentators cursing away. I don't necessarily disagree with them. I think Shales' bench is a lot stronger than it has been in previous years. Maybe they lack a couple of players, possibly. I've kind of said that before, that they probably lack a player or two to really kick on this season, maybe. But it was a real case of the commentators' curse. It was Dean Williams, substitute, linking up with Tyrek Wilson, did really, really well. Another substitute, and he drove into the box, and it was just that bit of composure on the ball to find Evan Caffrey, another substitute, who also showed fantastic composure, not to just lash at the ball, but just do a little dummy and just whip it around his left foot into the bottom corner. Scenes, absolute scenes. Fantastic win for Shelbourne, and they really, really do look like they can go and challenge for this league title now, don't they? I think Pats can definitely take some positives from this. It wasn't a dreadful performance. They look poor enough in the first half at times, and it looks a little bit misjointed still. For me, it just looks like their kind of best players don't really know where they should be playing on the pitch. Mulroney, Levy, Brandon Kavanagh, they were all kind of very narrow. I felt kind of all wanted to occupy the number 10-ish role. Mulroney was kind of playing off to the left, and he was coming inside a lot, and it did open up a lot of space for Anto Breslin on that left hand side on the overlap to come on, and he put a couple of great balls in the first half, and he was definitely a threat. And look, Pat's most threatening player really in that first half. He did have to come off with an injury which restricted him, because Luke Turner, then a centre half by trade, had to go into that full back position, so that definitely restricted their attacking threat down that flank. But yeah, Pats, for me, it's just a little bit misjointed at the moment. I think Kenny will get it right. I think they, over the course of the season, they should still get top 4, I feel, and they should probably get that 4th spot. They have the quality there. There's no excuse for them not to get it. They have the manager now. They have no real excuses not to kick on and get top 4 now, in my opinion. But yeah, that's a little bit of a concern for me. They're 3 extremely talented players, and Rory Keaton's not getting too much service either. They all feel like players that want to kind of have a shot and cut inside and have a shot, and it just doesn't really link up nicely at the moment, and the quality is there for it to do so 100%. They're fantastic footballers, but they're all 3 left footers. I feel like they're all want to play on that right hand side, maybe coming in onto their left foot, and it just isn't really clicking for them at the moment. Another question mark is around Rory Keating. Obviously, I think he's a fantastic player, but he's just not getting the service at the moment. I don't think he barely got in the ball at all throughout the whole game. Mason Melia came off the bench, he made a big difference, as I said, and he's a player that you'd imagine will get a lot more game time. Obviously, you have to kind of manage his minutes. Only a 16-year-old kid, you have to manage his minutes, but he's a special talent. Then you have Alex Nolan as well, who's another one who probably wants to play on that right hand side as well. Another left footer who likes to cut in and stuff. So it's a bit of a tricky one for Kenny to sort out. Maybe it's a question mark around the recruitment. Did they need to go get a Brandon Kavanagh? Could they have got somebody else with a different kind of profile, as they kind of have that profile kind of a lot in the squad currently? So it's an interesting one, and I think Pats will probably look to recruit now in the summer again. I'd say they've made certain assurances to Kenny when they were getting him on board, but yeah, they're lacking a little bit. I think they have the ability there, but it looks a little bit disjointed. But yeah, the night is all about Shelbourne, it has to be said. Will Jarvis, of course, a little bit concerned that he came off with that injury. I think it was a couple of stitches and stuff he had to get from a nasty elbow from Jamie Lennon, I believe it was. So he'll surely be okay for Friday, but definitely a concern that he went off early. But it's kind of a facial injury. It looks like he should be okay. But yeah, Shells, they'll just be riding a serious wave after that, and it was always a case of, can they turn the draws into wins from last season, and they're starting to do that a little bit more. Obviously they still picked up points along the way, and they've got draws along the way, but they're starting to do it a little bit more where they're tipping away and getting vital 3 points on the board. So yeah, it all stacks up at the end of the season, and it's really, really interesting to see how far the Shelbourne side can go. They're so well coached. It's an excellent Damien Duff. You can't, like, I know he has his haters, he has his naysayers, but you cannot deny he is a quality coach, and for my money I think he is the best coach in the league. The way he's taking the Shelbourne side like year on year, just taking serious strides, and they've obviously a European campaign to look forward to as well. So yeah, Shelbourne, really, really good place at the moment. The Talker Park news, I think there's a bit of investment as well. Damien Duff flying high at the top of the league. Doesn't get much better from a Shelbourne point of view, does it? And it is full time at Tallaght Stadium, and it's a massive 3 points for Shamrock Rovers. Obviously these are the 4 sides competing in Europe, so obviously they have to get a few more games in, as they'll have other obligations soon. But the way the current top 3 lies at the moment, Shelbourne at the top with 34 points, 4 clear now. due to tonight's result of Derry City losing tonight. 4 points clear of Derry City and 6 points clear of third place Shamrock Rovers. Then you've got Galway, Bohemians, Waterford, and then you've got Pats all the way down in 7th, so they need to start getting some points on the board. But yeah, it's going to be a tantalising title race. It really is. Shell's obviously still the outsiders for a lot of people, and rightfully so. Haven't proven it to be. They came fourth last year. They haven't really proven to be a title winning team yet, but they do have players like Sean Gannon in there now that they've recruited that can maybe have that little bit of experience within the camp to try and get them over the line later on in the season if they're still in the mix. But it's gonna be close, you feel, and you can never write off Shamrock Rovers a win there tonight off the back of a disappointing one on Friday. To be fair, it's an inconsistent spell for Stephen Bradley's side, but you can never write off Shamrock Rovers, and they're probably still the bookies' favourites to go on and win it. But yeah, guys, if you didn't enjoy the video, make sure to drop a like on it down below. A fantastic night of football, the greatest league in the world without a shadow of a doubt. Make sure to subscribe as well. We're going to have some good stuff coming out. Obviously be doing our weekly predictions with Luke this week. We might be doing a combined 11 ahead of the Shamrock Rovers Shelbourne game. That'll be an interesting one considering how the things are lying right now, so we might look into doing that as well. And then I'm going to have a Future Star video coming on Sunday. So the return of our Future Star series, that will be back on Monday. And no massive hints for who it's going to be about, but he may or may not have been mentioned in this video already. So there you go, a little teaser for that. But yeah, make sure to stay tuned for all that good stuff coming up this week. Plenty of content coming throughout the week. And make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all that good stuff. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you in a bit.